Hello, everybody. Welcome to week number 6 of EDU 600. We're making great progress in the course. And before we get on to week number 6, I wanted to thank everybody for submitting your article capture 1. Hopefully you've listened to the comments that I made, and everybody probably saw the grades that I submitted, formally put on Brightspace into the grade book. If you have any questions on that, let me know. I would say overwhelmingly, everybody did just a great job picking out 3 primary source documents. A few, I suggested that you look for another. You might have a secondary source in there. And I have to say, sometimes it's hard to tell what is primary source and secondary source. There's another category that technically is secondary source. It's called a meta-analysis. And a few people in the class picked a meta-analysis, and oftentimes I allow a student to use just that. A meta-analysis is really a statistical way of analyzing research. But from a practical standpoint, if you can find a meta-analysis on your topic, oftentimes it provides a wealth of information, including references. And many times the researchers do detail the purpose of the meta-analysis, the procedures, what were the methods, the data collection, all of the categories that are used in primary source documents. So thank you everybody for the excellent work with that assignment. And later on in October we have the article capture 2, which is basically the same thing as what you did with article capture 1. You're just collecting 3 more articles and submitting them to me. Okay, let's get on to Module 6. Oh, one last thing with Module 5. I'm a little behind on the commenting on the discussion forum, the analysis of the research article, and I would say tomorrow and Monday I should be up to date. So if you haven't seen anything, I've been reading those. I've been letting things go, but, I have a few comments. I will have a few comments on those tomorrow or Monday. So stay tuned. Okay, week number 6. Week number 6, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. One is this thing called visual displays of data. Really, it could be you're looking online, you're looking at a chart, and the chart shows you something. It's a visual display of what's behind the curtain. The curtain might be all series of data that is just numbers. Visual displays of data is really important in explaining in a very easy way visually what the data is telling us or the data is telling us. So I'll walk you through that. I'm going to spend a little time on the discussion forum today, just showing you what I would like you to post. So to get us going, we have an overview video. We do this week get into some descriptive statistics, and we started touching upon these last week, but this week we're going to get into a little more information on them. I'd like you to take a look at the quantitative research introduction video. And there's some more information down below. Visual displays of data. And then we have 2 of those, number 1 and number 2. These are both by Jeff Beaudry, who is the author of our textbook. Maybe some of you know Jeff and you've taken another class with him. Excellent work. So what I'd like you to do is view this link for examples. You take a look at that. And then I have all of these data points. COVID-19 main data, origins by citizen of state of the past 100 years, Opportunity Atlas, Pew Research Center. You can see there's all kinds of information in here. So what I'd like you to do is, I'll go right down to the discussion right here. So what I'd like you to do is pick one example of a data report or data representation. So this is pick one of the above, And I'm going to just pick this thing, main data, and I'm going to show you what's involved in that. So coming back to the discussion, I say select one of the data reports above. Please briefly describe what the visual display is telling us. So keep it simple. Down here I say keep it simple. Post 100 to 150 words. That's not a lot. What are the variables? And post a link to the data. So I'm going to go up and pick one of the visual displays, and then we'll come back to this. Okay, so I'm going to pick this one here, main data from COVID-19. Now I have it up on the screen, so I'm going to pull it up. So this is where it brings me. This is the most current information, and I'm going to just scroll down and take a look at new positivity tests. You can go through this. As you see, these are all interactive. You could say, well, gee, what was September? What's the spike here? This is September 14th. What were the tests that were done, and what was the positivity rate for the test? So I'm not going to pick that one, though. Here's a chart that lists cumulative COVID-19 cases by county. Some other. This is what I'm most interested in. These are visual displays of various variables that, now I'm just going to focus in on, I think I'm going to focus in on this one. Cumulative COVID-19 cases by zip code. So you can see you move around, and I'm going to go to Saginaw County. I want to go in to Saginaw. I'll move this. Oh, that's not going to work. Just a minute. I'm going to go back out. South China, I don't want South China. Bodenham, I'm getting in the range. Brunswick, Bodenham, Saginaw County, right below there. There we go, Topsom. Okay, so what is this chart telling us? The chart is, first of all, it's telling us that how many cumulative confirmed cases through September 26 is 426. What's the population? That is really it. So really this is, you might say in your discussion post, this is a visual displays of cases across Maine, and you can focus in on each one of the counties and each one of the towns, and you can see what the cumulative cases are. And anything else you might want to say in here as far as what this is, all you have to do is say, give me a link for what it is, and that is it. I really don't want you to spend a lot of time on this, because there is another, in a couple of weeks, we have an assignment. It's called a visual display of data that is building really on this discussion post. We take another visual displays, and I ask you to describe in more detail the visual displays, what's behind the data. But we will get to that. So that's really what the discussion post is this week. I would rather you spend a lot more time on the actual materials than on the discussion post. So coming back, here's the visual displays. Nope, excuse me. Here's the visual displays of data discussion post. And it's not really. I'd like you to get this done by Wednesday, so you could make a comment on anybody else's. But if you can't, this almost doesn't lend itself to the discussion, to adding additional questions. I'm not going to ding anybody if you don't comment on other people's. So what we have coming up at the bottom of the page is this visual displays of data assignment. Now, I will explain that not this week, but I'll explain it next week because it's a couple weeks out, and I can see I have to change that. That is October 14th. So, actually, while I'm in here, I will correct that. October 17th, that is, then I'll update it. So that is really what we have this week. I encourage you to take a look at all of the videos this week. And, we're not really getting into heavy duty discussion on statistics. And next week we get in a little more discussion on that. So that is it as far as what are we doing this week. Once again, please read chapter 6 and chapter 7. And, this week we're kind of focusing in on this, and we're going to circle back to the descriptive statistics next week. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you don't understand what the assignment is, well, it's not an assignment, what the discussion post is, please let me know. I'm here to help. Combination of reading, looking at the videos, and if you need additional information, please let me know. But once again, we're going to ease into some of the statistics. To ease everybody's mind, I'm really not interested in people becoming statistical experts, but there's a few simple tests that I'd like to focus in on. One is the statistical significance of the results. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the chapter, the statistical significance of the results and the p-value. So I'll leave it at that. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you online next weekend or next week.